welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace and today is Monday, November 23rd. This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, but most importantly knitting, because that is what I love to do all day, every day. This is the latest I have ever recorded the podcast, I believe. This is fun. It's been a busy day, and then I also accidentally took a very long nap. So, yes, it's very chill here. We have no makeup. We have a very large blemish on my chin thanks to masks, though important, bad for the skin, but still important. We still wear them. Small sacrifice to make. Also put up my Christmas decorations today, so that's fun. And I do have a lot of knitting to show you, so this is very exciting, and we'll just kind of go through this quickly because I have to move along. All the laundry is folded though, so that is a huge positive thing, you know. I've also changed up the angle here, and I'm not sure how I should sit exactly because I'm kind of like angled weirdly in this chair. But I wanted this little tree to be in the background, you know? Anyway, so I have social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Ravelry. Most active on Instagram. I've got show notes that are on my blog. The links to all those things will be everywhere. Grab something tasty to drink, something to snack upon, something to craft upon, an animal to snuggle, laundry to fold, maybe you're making dinner, maybe you're just relaxing and enjoying something. I don't know what. It is late and I have made myself a latte. I'm not ashamed. I'm very happy because it tastes delicious. So if you'd like to grab any of those things that I have just mentioned, and maybe a latte, so desire, and you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. So I put out my Christmas decorations today, but haven't pulled out my Christmas mugs yet, and so I was like, I'm gonna use my polar bear mug. It's kind of Christmassy. And then I'm holding it the wrong direction, so you can't even see that there are polar bears on it. What's even the point of using it if I'm not going to hold it correctly? You know? Oh well. It is what it is. You know? It's a Monday. But it is not a Monday when you watch this, dear viewer of mine. Maybe it is a Monday when you watch this and it's much later. It could be much later and a Monday when you watch this. So, I don't actually know. You know what's going on better than I do in your current life. Taking off my slippers because my feet are very warm. It's very cold today. I can tell that this episode is going to be all over the place, and for that, I apologize. Fun fact, I also have Christmas presents sitting on my bed that I need to open and haven't opened yet because they're for Sam. I also forgot to put on my rings. That's great. So, I had a point that I was going to talk about. Oh, I know. I don't know what day it is that you're watching. It is probably Wednesday, because that is when this goes up. And if you're in the United States, tomorrow, Thursday, is Thanksgiving. And so that's fun. I hope that you all are celebrating it safely, even though everyone's holiday season may look a little different than it has looked before. Unfortunately, it's not quite the same because it is important to stay safe, and it is important to meet the rules and regulations that have been given to us in order to stay safe. But yeah, I hope you have a wonderful group of holidays. Why am I getting so many text messages now? Like, what? Oh my goodness. so many text messages right as I start recording. It's been pretty quiet for most of the day. We went and saw some friends in Austin this past weekend, and I got a lot of knitting done, and it was quite wonderful. And I have every hope to get a lot of knitting done this coming week and weekend and for the rest of time, because that is what I love to do. I feel very close to the camera. Am I very close to the camera? Maybe I'm just really all over the place because I took a nap that was longer than I intended. So now I'm like, what? My hair's clean. Welcome to the Cat Knit Podcast, the podcast. This is a crazy podcast. I don't know what we're talking about. Apparently everything. At this point, I'm just trying to think of random things to say, just to keep the randomness going. But no, stay on track. It'll be okay. Hope to get a lot of knitting done this week because, like I said, it's Thanksgiving. We will be celebrating it with Sam's family, which if you're new, Sam is my husband. And that is very exciting. They live about 45 minutes away from us, so we see them pretty regularly, which is really wonderful. And whenever we hang out with them, I always get a lot of knitting done. But we all obviously have been doing it safely, and we've been doing it while being careful. They've also been being careful. We have less than 10 people, all that jazz. So I'm looking forward to it. It's very unfortunate because also now that I'm recording later, the traffic is going to be louder. It's a very poor decision. I shouldn't have taken a nap, but I needed the nap, so it's okay. So my dilemma is, what am I going to knit over Thanksgiving? Because ultimately I would love to lug this massive bag of yarn to my in-laws, which I know I totally could, and I know they would be totally fine with it, plus like 5 other projects, but I feel like that would not be the most productive thing, because it's not like I'm packing for like a weekend trip or something, which I probably would do that, because the idea of running out of yarn would be, it's just horrifying. This is my penguono, not my penguono. I'm knitting this penguono, but this is for Sam. This is his Christmas present. He knows that is coming. He has seen it. He okayed the color palette. It's very exciting. I'm very much loving it. Let's actually just go ahead and show it to you. I did have some needle change. I was knitting it on a 10.5, and the fabric seemed really dense, which, I mean, I understand that the way this works is you change the weight that you're using, and the gauge changes, and that's how you change the size. You don't change the numbers necessarily. And so, oh man, I love how this is turning out so far. Also, because it's later, it's darker outside, so we have better lighting because I've actually turned on some lamps. What? I'm so professional over here, turning on the lamps to have nice lighting. I have an attitude today. I apologize if this is annoying, but maybe it's entertaining. I don't know. Should we have some more coffee? Let's have some more coffee. So I don't remember what needle size I am currently on. I did switch. It is no longer a 10.5. It is significantly, it might be a 13. Yes, I can just read the needle, you know, that would be very helpful. It is in fact a 13. Something tells me that I didn't knit mine on a 10.5 either. I think I knitted on like an 11 or even a 13. Because why not? Also, because I was knitting this is the back piece. This is the first piece that you knit in a penguono, fun fact. And it just seemed so much smaller than mine. And then, so I pulled mine out, laid it out, did some comparisons. It's still bigger, it just looks smaller. But then I also remembered that mine was bigger because it was at a smaller gauge, so the stitches are more open. And so it like stretches so much more. And I've had mine for a long time, obviously, so it's like, I don't want it to be an open fabric at all, or even necessarily, but I feel like it's just very dense. I don't necessarily want it to be dense. I don't think Sam wants it to be dense either. So I'm super happy with these colors. I'm very happy with how this is turning out. I have already used up a ton of yarn. That is really wonderful. And you would probably think, wow, how have you used up a ton of yarn in this little section? And it's like, I have indeed, because I have used up a lot of small little bits and pieces that are too small to put in anything else. So everybody, if you have been following me at least this past year, you would know that I have two favorite Progress Keeper people. I have Little Bitty Delights, who I love amazingly, love a lot. Amanda, she's very sweet. And then there's also Hand Stitch Life, and that is Jen, and I have quite a few of her stitch markers and Progress Keepers. And back in a month that I cannot remember when it was exactly, but I did go ahead and purchase one of her Christmas sets that has been just hanging out in its little packaging, just waiting to be used. So I think I'm going to put my little Santa on Sam's Penguono, because it's a Christmas present, you know. So we're gonna do that right now, so I don't forget. I did bring them in here specifically for this purpose, so I could put Progress Keepers on these things as I talk about them. Boop. And there's my little Santa. It's just hanging out on the Penguono. So that's really awesome. Really loving that. I think Sam is really gonna love it too. He likes what he sees already. This has been very low on my priority list, unfortunately, just because I've been working nonstop on some other stuff that I worked on over the weekend, which I'm going to show you, which I'm very proud of. Very proud of indeed. And we also have Advent stuff coming up, which is very exciting. So there's just a lot of knitting going on, everybody. Are you overwhelmed? I'm a little overwhelmed. The nap didn't help with the overwhelmedness. Okay, so now we're moving to the bag that I carry around everywhere with me. Not in public necessarily, though this would be wonderful if I could. People would think I'm even more strange than I already am if I carry around this massive bag with like 6 projects in it. I'll just bring this whole thing with me to church. How about that? I just don't know what I want to knit on today, you know? I can't make that decision this morning. So what do we have to show you, everybody? We've got to pull everything out. This is not... Okay, so that is that project. This no longer fits in this bag, which is very exciting. I'm very proud of the progress that I had this weekend, everybody. Oh, and this is a new cast on that needs to be done. Oh, goodness, I forgot. Okay, where do we start? Again, okay, so we're not going to say that this is not enough knitting. We're not going to say that I didn't do anything. We're not going to say that I didn't do a lot of knitting, because I did. I did a lot. And for some reason, it just doesn't feel like a lot, and I don't know why. So, I don't want to sell myself short for the work that I have put in on these projects, because I love them dearly, and yeah. So this is a test knit that I'm working on for Susan of Ye on Me Knits on Instagram. She is a new designer. I'm like looking at it and you can't see it. I didn't get to work on this as much, but you'll be able to tell why I didn't work on this as much, because I was working on some other things. that have more looming deadlines. But I think once these other things are done and like completely finished, this is obviously going to become my top priority besides the Penguono. But this is a bottom-up faded sweater. Can we even, like, thank you, lamps. Round of applause for the lamps for giving us such good lighting today. I'm so happy with how this is fading. Like, I'm very proud of myself. I'm also so happy that I get to test this pattern for Susan. Like I've said in previous weeks, it's such a well-written pattern. She has so much information in there. The sizes are such a wide range of sizes. She's super sweet. Please knit this pattern when it comes out. She also has a new pattern out in Wisp by Farmer's Daughters Fibers. It is very beautiful as well. She also has a beautiful Instagram. So if anything, follow her on Instagram. And then, of course, knit her patterns. But yes, this is a bottom-up sweater. We've got some slip stitches for some fun texture in here. Fading, obviously. The original one that she did used only 2 colors. I wanted to be a little bit more colorful and require myself to have more ends to deal with, but we weave them in as we go, so it's all okay. I have more balls of yarn to weigh at the end. This is my own choosing. I'm not complaining. It is fine. And I'm very grateful for Susan letting me do it this way. I think some other testers are also doing it this way as well. So that is very exciting. It's very, like, it's a good stash buster. If you have 3 skeins, I believe, in total for, I'm not sure what the range of sizes is, but you'd have the 2 skeins or whatever of the top color, and then 2 skeins for the bottom color. I believe I'm knitting the size 3, I think. I also forgot that there's no airflow in this little corner, though the fan is on. Very unfortunate. That's probably why my feet were getting so warm. So yes, I have a lot of knit picks in this so far. I have some Life in the Long Grass. I've got some knit Cosmic Strings in here. I have more Life Long Grass coming up. I've got Dragon Horde coming up. Lots of knit picks. I'm very excited. So yeah, I'm just knitting along. It's such a wonderful, very mindless pattern. So again, once I think once I get other things finished and like completely squared away and I'm not having to worry about them anymore, this is gonna be a good carry around with me everywhere project. So probably a good Thanksgiving project, I would assume. So that is that. Super exciting. The deadline, our deadline is at the end of December. So it's not for a while, which is very, very wonderful. I'm very grateful for the long timeline. But I'm not sure when exactly it is being published. So sometime after the 28th. But yeah, loving working on that. Super fun. Very pleased with my fading. I have a mosquito bite on my ankle that is very itchy. Fun fact. Same as talking to someone and I don't know who. Don't know if it's a work phone call or if he's talking to a friend online. Not that it matters. But it's pretty soft, so I don't think you can hear him. Next up, I didn't get very much progress on this at all. I got about 1.5 inches, so I'm going to show it to you anyway. It looks basically the same. This is Tassels Through the Sky by the Knit Owl, or his name is Vincent on Instagram. The Knit Owl is his username. His name is Vincent. I should have said that better. This is a sample for Diane of Suburban Stitcher. I am using her mohair and her slub in her new maple colorway. And I am so in love with how this is turning out. Like, these colors are just so beautiful. I have a Little Bitty Delights sugar donut here. I know you can't really see, but it is sparkly. It's one of my favorite things about it. So I'm just tootling along on that. This is also another mindless thing, but I have to be able to weigh my skeins, and I don't know where my scale that became a knitting scale went is, and I don't have a portable scale, so I've been using Sam's coffee scale, and it's very nice, and I feel very bad asking if I can take it with me places. And it's also kind of weird being like, hold on, I've been enjoying this conversation we've been having very greatly, and thank you for letting me knit while I talk to you, but can I ask you, do you have a kitchen scale I can borrow? I need to weigh my yarn. That's not a normal conversation thing, unless you're a knitter. It's very normal. But if you're talking to a non-knitter, that would be very odd. That being said, I know if I asked any of my friends if they had a kitchen scale for yarn purposes, they would be very understanding, which is very wonderful. As would my in-laws. And my mom. But she would definitely understand because she is a knitter. So, Tassels in the Sky by the Knit Owl. Now I have mohair stuck to my nose. Ooh! I believe Sam is playing a game. That's what it sounds like. So next up is probably the thing, I'm very proud of both of these things. This is one of the things I'm very proud of. So, I have my little cheat sheets that I said I would leave over here. If you haven't seen last week's episode, this will make no sense. But I am, surprise, doing another test knit for Isabel Kramer. This was very spontaneous. It was just too beautiful to pass up, and I could not help myself. So here I am. I actually did research into the name, and it is a Dutch word. And, no, excuse me, it's a Danish word. And I have it written out phonetically on this piece of paper so I can remember how to pronounce it when I record. And I've left it here in my recording area so I know and I don't lose it. But this is the Danish word for Snow Queen, which is snedroning. Snedroning. Snedroning, I think. That is what I understand it to be. Snedroning. Yeah, Sam's definitely playing games. This is what I did to get through my French classes. Also, I would like to say, I was thinking about this the other day, and about the story that I told last week, about how in all my French presentations that I would do, I would write everything out phonetically. That was odd that I wouldn't necessarily know already, like the basics, and just go with it that way. I would also write it out correctly, and then underneath it or above it I would write it out phonetically, so I could like see it in my mind and know that that was the word and it was spelled correctly in the actual French language, and then I would have it written out phonetically because I needed that. But anyway, this sweater is not about my French classes nor my French presentations nor how I pronounce or figure out words in other languages. Snedroning is, let's show you yeah, this is the front, is this. Oh my goodness. Oh, can we even? It looks so good. Oh my goodness, it looks so good on camera. I can't even. Everybody, are we amazed by this? What? Oh my goodness. I can't even right now. So I was working on this at one point when I was with my mom, and she was commenting on how beautiful it was, and I was like, that's good, because I've been looking at it for so long that I've kind of stopped being able to see the pattern. And my mom was very encouraging, and she was like, oh, you can totally see the pattern, it's really okay. Definitely see the pattern. There's nothing, like, the colors don't blend too much. And oh my goodness gracious, everyone, I'm so happy with this. And I'm acting like I've never seen it before. I definitely have, but I have not seen it on camera before, and I can't. This is so pretty. So my main color is a beautiful purple. Also, everyone, I divided for the sleeves. I was not even close to dividing for the sleeves last time we talked. I have divided for the sleeves, and I have knit about 2 inches on the body. What? Been so productive, and now we're gonna put this beautiful, shiny snowflake, boop, as my new progress keeper. Because, yes, Christmas. Christmas, the holidays. So this is now a new, like, knitting until the end of time type thing. I'm just knitting around and around and around and around and around and around until I get to the hem. I believe it's slightly cropped. So I can't even, everyone, I'm so happy with this. I can't even. Such a beautiful pattern. So my main color is Happy Accident by Suburban Stitcher in her sock base, which is just gorgeous. So beautiful. And then my contrasting color is Nougat by Stranded Dye Works, and then I'm also holding a strand of white mohair with the pink for my color work. So that's why it's giving off a vibe. It kind of reminds me of Soft Velvet a little bit by Andrea Mowry, which I also love and would love to knit at some point, but there have been other things in my knitting queue, you know. I can't, like, what even? Ah, so proud. Also, I knit this in a very short amount of time. In the grand scheme of things, I'm very ahead of schedule, and I'm very proud of myself. I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that one. So yeah, I'm just knitting around and around and around and around. Right now, I had the goal of, first of all, at least dividing for the sleeves. That was my main goal. And then the second goal was to finish my ball of Happy Accident, which I was not able to do, but that's okay. I did something else that, at this point, you may be able to guess what it is, but I did something else that I'm very proud of. And it's taken a huge project off of my needles that may be giving it away. But that's okay. It's not a surprise. Like, I mean, I'm just like, I just can't stop looking at myself in the little viewfinder thing. This is so pretty. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to wear this. It's just so soft and like just very delicate looking. Oh man. I'm so happy I'm testing this. And I'm so happy because I thought about going with a more graphic and like super contrasty contrasting color. Still holding the mohair with it to kind of soften it, but I thought about doing something a little bit more contrasty. And I'm really glad that I didn't. I'm so glad that I went with the softness, and I just can't even. Because like the Happy Accident is definitely purple, but it's definitely more like of a gray purple with the pink and the white and the speckles. I just am so happy with how it's turning out. Okay, I'll stop geeking out about this. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy with it. So yeah, now I'm just knitting and knitting. We've marked my progress. It no longer fits in my Stitch by Jessalou Christmas bag, which is always a good sign of making progress. And yeah, I am just super happy with this and very proud of the work that I did over the weekend, and I know I'll just continue making progress with that. Next up, everyone, I was a little behind, but that's okay, because I finally got done, and it's not blocked, and it's gonna be way too big to fit in the whole shot, but I finished my slip extravaganza. Everyone, I finished my slip extravaganza. Oh my goodness, this is so big. And I haven't even blocked it yet, it's so big. Can we even? I finished it. I'm so happy with it. This was a struggle to finish. I so powered through. Man, I-cord bind off. At the end, you're about 75 stitches short of having 1,000 stitches. 1,000 on your needles. And then you do an I-cord bind off, which totally worth it. I'm not complaining in regards to, you know, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe he made us do this way. I hate the I-cord bind off. I don't. I love it. It's totally worth it. It creates the most beautiful edge, and it wouldn't look the same without it. It's totally worth it, but I feel like I just need to have a good little complaint here. Almost 1,000 stitches in an I-cord bind off. Can we even? I know there are so many other people who also have done this and like struggled through the bind off. Maybe you have. Was it rough? It was rough. I did this obviously not in one go. I also did this over the weekend, and I did it in chunks, and it was, I thought about adding up my time in the end, but I was like, this is too difficult. I don't know how much time it was in the end. I know I worked on it for over an hour and was not even remotely halfway. And that wasn't even starting from the beginning. So that's great. This is the back side, which is also just so gorgeous. I can't wait to block it. I'm so excited. I'm a little worried about where exactly I'm going to block it. Because also, like, the biggest place that we have that I could do it would be in the living room. And I'd have to move our coffee table out of the way, which is totally fine, but I also work out in the morning in that exact area, which is a bit problematic. But if I block it tonight, it'll probably be dry tomorrow because we have the fan on, and even though it's cold, yeah, it gets warm. Oh my goodness, like, this is just so beautiful. I am so excited to be able to wear this and just like style it in fun ways. I keep seeing everyone with their beautiful pictures, and they're just like so creative, and it's such a wonderful masterpiece. So much knitting went into this, and I am so proud of it. I cannot even begin to tell you. If you completed the slip extravaganza, congratulations, you are an incredible knitter. If you did not do it, you are also an incredible knitter, because I'm sure you've completed so many other amazing projects. Maybe you're a beginning knitter. You're still awesome because you are creating things with your hands, and that is just so wonderful. Like, how awesome is that we can create art with our hands and then that we get to wear? I just love that. That was a random tangent, but like, I just love being able to create stuff with my hands, and then being able to create masterpieces like this and being able to show them off and being like, oh my goodness, I love this. And not be able to, like, not showing them off in like a, oh my goodness, I'm so amazing way. I'm getting so many text messages right now. Not in a prideful way. I'm not like, I'm making it sound so amazing. I did this. It's more of a like, this is art. This is so cool. He is an incredible designer. These dyers who made this yarn, they are so amazing. And then I can put them together and make a beautiful work of art. And I did it. I made it, and it's so cool. And it just makes me so excited that that is what knitting is. And that is what knitting is to me. I know it's different things for other people, but that is what it is to me. So, my blue, my main color is Relax Is Just Magic by Lamstring Yarns. I couldn't remember her name for a minute. I also have Stone. This is very, the stripes are very soft, which I really love, but sometimes it's kind of hard to see the stripes. So I have Stone in there by Hedgehog Fibers. I also have Rose Gold by Chelsea Lux. And then my gold color is Golden Praline by Uncommon Thread. But yeah, I love creating. I believe it is what we were created to do. I believe that we were given the ability to create with our hands and be able to create beautiful things. And so the fact that we can do this as knitters and crafters, crocheters, quilters, whatever you may do, painters, bakers, musicians, I could go on and on, is just so amazing. And we have these mystery knit-alongs to like just boost that and make a masterpiece. And we are artists. We are amazing artists. I love that. Yes. If you couldn't tell, I'm very passionate about knitting. And not just knitting, but so much more. It's so much more than knitting. So yes, this is gonna get blocked. I have so many ends that have already been woven in, and I love that for me. We have some Alexis Rose over here. I love that for me. Yes, so it's gonna get blocked. Ends trimmed, pictures taken. I am not sure what I'm gonna do for pictures. I'm gonna do something really spectacular, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with the area locations that I have at hand. But I have the ability to take some more pictures later in the year, in December. So I might do that as well, because why not? I'm getting so many text messages. I do apologize. I don't know if you can hear the buzzing, but it is happening, and I do apologize. Slipstravaganza, mystery knit along of 2020. It is done. Another year, another great year, another fun year. Didn't finish on time, but that is okay. That is totally fine. That was not the point. The point was not to have competition. The point was not to have the best one. The point was not to beat everyone. The point was to have fun and create art. And I did. Very proud of myself, even though I finished late. But it didn't turn into a languishing whip, which other mystery knit-alongs have done in the past, and for that I am proud. It's not a languishing whip. I will get to wear it, and I'm very excited, and I am I cannot, it's just, I love it. It smells good. I just can't even. That is all the knitting that I have for you. I've done a lot, seemingly done not very much, but I have still done a lot. We have great lighting this episode because I procrastinated and took a nap, but I needed it, so it's all okay. I have things that I want to cast on. I have things that they don't need to be cast on, but I really want to cast them on. But it's not gonna happen quite yet. I have my Advent project coming up, which I'm so excited for. I'm so excited. I can't even begin to tell you. I know I told you last week, but I'm just gonna repeat what I said last week. It's gonna be so much fun. And so the fact, there's one more recording. There'll be one more podcast before I start it, I believe. I don't know that for certain, so let me check my calendar. You know, this is a podcast full of accents apparently as well. I know I do that pretty regularly, but I feel like there's just been more in general. Just barely. This will be fun. So, next Monday is the last day of November, which means that I will get to start my dotted rays on Tuesday. Not tomorrow, but the following Tuesday. And so then I should hopefully have some amount of progress to show you on the 7th, which would be the next day that I record. Man, where has time gone? I'm so excited. So, just as a refresher, not just myself and not just my mom, but also my sister, all three of us are doing Pineapple Yarn's advent calendar. And I don't know if you follow her on Instagram, but she creates the most happy colors. She has the most bright and like fluorescent and joyful colors out there. That's not to say that dark colors can't be really happy. They definitely can, but like these are just pineapple yarn. Like, I mean, just the name is very happy. So I'm so excited. My plan is, and I believe this is my mom's plan as well, I'm not sure about my sister. We have not discussed. We still have time. To do the dotted rays and to not open one every day, because that can be stressful and overwhelming sometimes. Not in a bad way, but just it's a lot of knitting. Especially around the holidays when you're busy. And even though this year holidays look different and there's less going on, there's still a lot of things to do. And so there's still, it doesn't necessarily, just because you're home more, doesn't necessarily mean that you have more knitting time. It may be true for some people, but there's still a lot of things to do. Fun things, and not so fun things, like regular life things, like laundry and kitty litter. But there's like cookie baking that gets to happen and stuff like that. So we will be opening one every other day. And so then we'll drag it out and we'll go into January, and hopefully we'll finish it sometime in January. And sorry, my eye's very itchy. There's some mohair going on. Woo! The goal is to just have a very leisurely, not stressful, work on other things, advent calendar, advent project, not feel the pressure of like trying to get things done a lot in one day, especially since the nature of this shawl, your rows get significantly longer and longer and longer and longer and longer and longer. So just to try and combat the potential overwhelmingness, the potential to set it down and let it become a languishing whip, I would like to combat that and somehow just make it a little bit more chill, which is totally fine. If you're opening one every day, that is wonderful. Personally, I kind of wish that I was opening one every day. Although, I could open one every day and then just, like, know which one was next. Because then I would have the fun thing of opening it every day. I'd like that. Might discuss that. Because I need to talk about it with my sister and my mother. We will discuss. Katie and Mama we'll discuss our advent calendar projects. Even though I know I could text you, we're going to have a public announcement here on podcast. So that's very exciting. That is coming up. You will not see when I record next, because I will not have started it, but you will see it on the following one. You'll probably see pictures of it. Don't know what that sound is. It's a very weird sound. Anyway. I have reward projects planned as well, of like things that I want to cast on that are rewards for finishing things. I just need to figure out how many things I need to finish before I cast something on. Because I don't want to do it just after one necessarily and then get really overwhelmed because I have so many things on my needles. I need to think about it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's fun. It'll be okay. It is okay. It's just yarn. It's just knitting. It's almost dinner time. So, I will go. I will leave you with this. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving if you are celebrating it, whether it be with fewer family members, with no family members. I hope you're being safe. I hope you have a wonderful time. Reach out to those that you love, those that you are thankful for. Obviously this is the season of giving thanks, but we can be thankful at any point during the year, but it's always a good reminder during this time of the year just to be thankful for those in your life, the non-people things in your life, like knitting and being able to be creative. It's just really wonderful. Thank you for being you. I am thankful for you. I know I say this every week and it may sound like it's not always, it may lose its sincerity since I say it so often, but it really doesn't, in my mind, in my heart. You guys mean so much. I don't know what I would do. I mean, obviously I wouldn't have this podcast. I think it'd be very weird. It still doesn't make sense to me that people enjoy watching me talk to a camera. I think that's very odd, but I'm glad. I'm so thankful for you. I'm so thankful that you guys have encouraged me to keep up this podcast for so long. It's been a while, and I love it. It's really super awesome. Having a podcast has helped me in so many ways in my knitting life, in my personal life, in my creative life, in my friend life. Having a podcast has not really been a bad thing for me. So because of you guys, I have a podcast, and I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the kind messages that you send me, the comments that you send, all that kind of stuff. You are wonderful. I hope you know that. And yes, social medias, show notes, all that stuff will be everywhere. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message. If I forget something, which is very likely, you know. I hope you get a lot of good crafting done in the upcoming weeks and last month of 2020. Here's to a better year in 2021. But happy crafting in the meantime. Hope you had a wonderful weekend and you continue to have a wonderful week. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they are successful. So much crafting ahead for all of us, whether it be for yourself or for others or for both somehow. Enjoy your crafting. It's a beautiful thing to be able to create with your hands, and not something that we should take for granted. I firmly believe that. This has been an episode that started off very random and then got very serious, and I keep bringing it back to the serious thing, and I don't know why. It's true, but I don't know if I necessarily want to end the whole episode on a serious note, you know? Oh my goodness. I I need to close this podcast out. I have a lot of knitting plans ahead of me. I have a lot of goals that I would like to meet. I have a lot of fun things to cast on eventually. And yeah, I'm sure you'll see them eventually, either on this podcast or on my Instagram, which is where you should be following me. If you follow me anywhere, Instagram is the place to be. So you can also see cute pictures of my cat, because he's been super affectionate, and I just can't, even with those kitty snores while he's on top of me and snuggling. My to-do list just blows out the window. I'm not getting anything done. But I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this episode. I apologize if I was annoying at all, because I was so all over the place. And it started off kind of weird. But I feel like we had a good episode. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being you. You are wonderful. Happy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating it. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.